Guam Homeland Security and Office of Civil Defense has remained in condition of readiness 4 because of close consultation with the National Weather Service based in Tizon, Guam. Guam Homeland Security Public Affairs Officer Alyssa Benito.
On GovGuam's side, we're doing everything we can to prepare for the rainy weather and the gusty winds that we will see in the coming days, but we do not foresee anything to trigger a move to Core 3.
NWS Warning Coordination Meteorologist Chip Gard says that right now there's nothing more than a strong monsoon south of Guam.
The disturbances or areas in here are very poorly organized, very difficult to track anything really of any kind of circulation in here. And essentially what's going to happen is a weak circulation will probably develop and move across the Marianas.
Gard says we can expect 25 to 30 mile per hour winds with some gusts up to 40 miles per hour. It could also cause some local flooding, but it's nowhere near the strength of a typhoon.
Well, no typhoon strength winds, but no, we're not even expecting tropical storm force winds right now. We're going to have a breezy, wet weekend, but no damaging or destructive winds.
In fact, it's not even considered a tropical depression yet, but rather a tropical disturbance.
The term disturbance really implies there's no organized circulation at the surface.
So why did the Joint Region Marianas go to condition of readiness 3? Navy Public Affairs Officer Lieutenant Matt Knight explains that one reason is because they receive their weather information from a different source than GovGuam.
The Navy gets its weather reports from the Pacific Weather Center. It actually has a detachment out of Hawaii, but they're based out of San Diego. And we received a report earlier this week that basically stated that there was a high chance of a potentially destructive storm that could form over Guam on Friday at some point. So taking that answer or that information into account, we decided it was best to shift towards T-Core 3 and could put ourselves in a better state of preparation versus waiting to see how the storm actually turned out or formed up.
Lieutenant Knight explains that they prefer to be more prepared. And one reason is that some of their assets, like the cranes that take the brows on and off of ships, can't operate at more than 25 knots. Also, planes can't take off at Andersen Air Force Base if the crosswinds are over 25 knots.
We're going to keep it at T-Core 3. We're watching it throughout the weekend, and this gives us the option that if it dissipates, we go to T-Core 4, no harm, no foul. If it builds up, we go to T-Core 2, and we move on with protecting our ships, our aircraft, and our people.
Gard does say that the monsoon will bring 5 to 7 inches of rain, some local flooding, and winds that could knock down some signs and tree branches. So, agencies like GFD, GPD, and GPA are already preparing for the worst.
Right now, you may see a lot of bucket trucks out there concentrating on two activities. They're removing temporary provisions like line guards out on the power lines and anything that might be considered a projectile during these expected high gusts of winds.
GPD reminds motorists to drive with extreme caution throughout the weekend.
Slow down, because we've had quite a few fatalities this year, and we'd like to keep that number at where it's at and not move any higher, especially when we're facing adverse weather over the weekends.